While Japan is a popular tourist destination all year round, one of the periods where it particularly spikes is during the winter time. A lot of Southeast Asians would travel to Japan during this time period, and it's often during school holidays, so it's a great time to go for a family holiday and somewhere a bit colder than usual. So in this video, I'm going to be covering some of the common winter foods that you can find up in northern Japan in the Hokkaido area. As the Hokkaido area tends to be a lot colder, the ramen broths here tend to be a lot richer, that the noodles here tend to be curlier in order to be able to grab all of the sauce. They tend to be more chewy and a lot thicker in its diameter compared to the straight noodles you often find in the Tokyo area. A specialty of the Hokkaido area is the spicy miso or just the plain miso broth in general. This broth tends to be very rich, very heartening to make up for the amount of calories that you'll be burning in this cold weather. Due to the combination of often being a pork base combined with the rich fermented miso paste, umami packed with a slightly sweet and savory depth, and the spiciness sometimes helps cut through the richness of the soup. Right now, there's a trend of even including cheese on top of this broth to further enhance the richness of this broth, while adding a more creamy flavor to the soup. On the flip side, another ramen variant that is really popular in this area is the Shio Ramen, which is a clear, light and salty broth. It is often chicken-based, and the top of the broth has been skimmed during the boiling process to give a very clear and transparent colored broth. And this base is often combined with a salt-based seasoning, hence the name Shio, which leads to a flavor profile of a mild, delicate, and slightly salty. As the soup is very light, you can see a variety of noodles that are served with it. In the Hokkaido area, you'll often see the same noodle type that is served with Miso Ramen, so the thicker, more chewy, curly noodles. But as the flavor of the broth is very light and delicate, any noodle types will complement it well. Shio Ramen is actually my favorite kind of ramen, and I find the broth sometimes to be somewhat refreshing, especially if it includes yuzu, as sometimes yuzu is used to complement the salty flavor of the chicken, or you can add a pat of butter to increase the creaminess and the richness of this very light broth. Another staple in essentially all Japanese restaurants is gyoza. Gyoza is essentially a Japanese dumpling, and wrapped inside the chewy skin is a filling that's made from a combination of pork, onions, and chive. That is the most combination, but different restaurants may include their own twist to it. Some of the juiciest gyozas I've ever had have been in family-run restaurants in the Hokkaido region. Not only are they double the size of a gyoza that I'm used to, they are also very generous with the amount of filling they put into this singular dumpling. And a gyoza is just a great side dish to have in general while waiting for the ramen or your main dish to come out. It is easy to eat, it's consistently delicious, and you can't go wrong there. There are some restaurants who only operate in winter, or the bulk of their business comes during the winter time. As they tend to be located in smaller towns, these places tend to have a bit more of a homely feel and are mostly family-run business. Since I grew up in a location where only season is the monsoon season, so dry or very wet, seasonal restaurants have always been very interesting to me. And there's something about the homemade rustic quality to it that makes it a lot more endearing and makes the overall experience feels like you're just visiting your relative's home. And the portion size tends to be extra generous. This cafe is a multi-generational family of rice farmers, and all of the flour used is from the rice that they produce. The use of the rice flour creates a certain full bodiness and chewiness to the pastries that are made in this cafe. And I think it's a pretty unique way of modernizing a family business that's been around for a couple of generations to meet the demands of the modern day. Seafood in Hokkaido is also some of the most delicious I've ever had. The winter time means that the seafood are actually plump and juicy in order to combat against the cold, making them extremely delicious and very sweet. It's so fresh because Hokkaido is basically port cities everywhere. So the seafood comes in very early in the morning and basically is available for consumption on the same day. It is definitely an experience and a very memorable part of when I visit the Hokkaido area. The food here is incredibly delicious and very different from the other parts of Japan. But if you're going to be traveling only within the Tokyo area, why don't you check out these video snacks?